today's video we're going to have a look at the negative reviews of The Last of Us. Now this is a pretty beloved game, so I'm kind of curious to see why people don't like the game and don't find it absolutely fantastic. I genuinely don't know what this person is talking about. They're pretty much saying that the story is taken from numerous zombie films, and I don't understand where they actually seeing that. And they mentioned the PS1 era. Again, this was made for PlayStation 3 originally, so of course it's a bit dated in 2023, but come on. I would love to know what movies this person thinks The Last of Us ripped from, because The Last of Us is probably, if not one of the most unique zombie-like survival games that there ever has been, period. Cordyceps fungus, which is a real fungus that actually affects ants and other insects. Again, I could be completely and utterly wrong, but I just don't think that The Last was ripped from other movies and stuff like that. Like the cordyceps fungus being a real fungus that actually takes over ants and other insects' brains and pretty much does what the game is doing. Its sole purpose is to reproduce and catch other insects and other animals in the same trap. That is what The Last of Us zombies are based off of, which is completely and utterly unique, and no other movie or show has really done anything like that, as far as I'm aware. Some zombie shooting with some emotional father-daughter story. I don't see how this game is special to anyone. Imagine walking straight into the point and completely and utterly missing it. People have different emotional reactions to different sources of media. Just like The Last of Us TV show episode 3, that hit me in my complete and utter feels, and I'm still not recovered from it. I'm genuinely devastated. I actually cried my eyes out from that episode. But not everyone would have reacted like that, because not everyone has the same emotions, not everyone has the same reactions. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you not liking the game, but overall you need to understand that your emotions are not the set for everyone else. People can react differently, and I just don't think it's fair to write down a game 1 star and sort of hate on it in a way and just not understand how anyone can like it. 1 star, this should be in the movie section instead of games. People play games, not watch a stupid, slow story. There's about 20% gameplay and 80% story. Don't buy this game if you want to play. Now, I actually looked around. I'm not 100% sure on this, so don't quote me. But according to statistics online, all playstyles for The Last of Us is around 16 hours and 33 minutes. Again, I'm not 100% on this, but looking around on other places, there's around 2 hours of cutscenes in the whole Last of Us game. It may differ depending on the playstyle, but it's around 2 hours long. Which means when you pay for the game, you still get 14 hours of actual game time, which in my opinion isn't the worst thing. Not every game needs to be like Red Dead and give you 100 hours of content. I'll even doing some bit of research on Red Dead Redemption. According to some statistics, it's around 16 to 30 hours of cutscenes in Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's not even talking about the actual gameplay. You want to talk about a movie? Red Dead Redemption is a literal movie. They can't really compare them all too much, but the fact that there is 16 to 30 hours of actual cutscenes in Red Dead Redemption 2 is insane. And again, you still get around 14 hours of actual gameplay if we're going off of all playstyles for The Last of Us. 1 star, worst game I've ever played. Worst story, only played because it came free with the system. Last girl ends up being gay, good luck with humanity. Just homophobic. Genuinely, when I picked this comment out, I was like, oh cool, you're just a bigot. Fun fact, if every single person turned gay on this planet, humans would not go extinct, because gay men and gay women can actually have kids. So I just wanted to point that out, considering this comment is trying to say that humanity is just completely and utterly screwed, because apparently the last girl on Earth ends up being gay. Even though Ellie is not the last girl on Earth, she literally isn't. This comment just shows that you didn't actually play the game or know anything about it. You found out that Ellie was gay and you just lost your marbles. I cannot actually wait for the people who are hate rating The Last of Us TV show to realise that Bill and Frank were not the only gay characters in The Last of Us. Wait until they find out about Ellie. Oh, they're going to lose their mind. I cannot wait for that, because they're going to absolutely go crazy. And I just love to see homophobes go crazy. Overall though, if you do not like The Last of Us because of any queer characters, just leave. Just don't even bother. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. No idea what the gameplay is like, as I was so turned off by the gutter language I chucked it out. Overall, I just think if you're going to buy a game, you should really sit down and just read some reviews and watch a little bit of gameplay. I'm not telling you to watch all of it, just check it out a little bit, see if you actually are interested in the game, because I just don't get comments like this. How do you not expect a bit of swearing in an actual apocalypse? Literally the end of the world. Like, this wasn't going to be a child-friendly game. I just don't get it. 1 star. I do resent this in gaming. Developers fetching an old game and remaster it for new consoles without any serious improvements just for money. My opinion, there is nothing wrong with making The Last of Us Part 1. It's just an updated game. You don't actually have to buy it with the PlayStation 5. You can just very well play the remastered version if you want. These people will literally sit here and buy this game and then complain and write negative reviews at the fact that they bought it. I get it, it's a bit over expensive, especially since it has multiple different versions, but just don't buy it. It's not that big of a deal. Bad AI and graphics for its time. Parts of the game you cannot even see what you're doing due to spores. Ellie is always bumping into and blocking your way and just standing there doing absolutely nothing and making unnecessary noises. Tess, a character from early game, starts attacking enemies for no reason even when you're trying to stealth. Later on, Bill shows up and just stands there and does nothing. Funny thing is, this game came out for the PlayStation 3, so at this point it's pretty old. Even the remastered version is old at this point, so of course the AI and graphics are not going to be absolutely crazy. And for the spores, it's meant to be dark, it's meant to be ominous, it's meant to be creepy, making it obviously a lot harder for you to actually see what you're doing. And for the characters attacking stuff, I have played through the entire game recently and I have not had that happen once. I don't know what they're on about. Not at all good. Uncharted is way better than this. Whether it's 1, 2, 3 or even 4, don't buy it, folks. Don't waste the money. The Last of Us Remastered. I think we have an Uncharted fanboy. I don't know what tipped it off. I just think they really like Uncharted. 1 star. Beautiful aesthetics and gameplay. Terrible plot, terrible ending, and no loyalty to the role. The best looking, worst game I've ever seen in my life. What? I don't know what this comment is going on about. I was going to give it 2 stars, but it barely deserves 1 just because of the infuriating plot twist. Naughty Dog has lost my business for life. Consider yourself banned. I genuinely don't know what this comment was smoking. Like, what was this person smoking? 1 star. Well, I played the game twice and I can safely say against the original, I wasted 50 quid on a movie. Again, this is literally just like the last post. There is not just a movie. There is plenty of hours of gameplay. This came out for the PlayStation 3. Of course, it's not going to actually be able to be compared to stuff like Red Dead Redemption, where you have literally hundreds of hours of gameplay. I don't think any game from PlayStation 3 era actually had hundreds of gameplay, like hours of gameplay. I just don't think any game did. Okay, so editing me just jumping in for a second. After doing some research on my last comment there, Persona 5 has 173 hours worth of content, and that came for the PlayStation 3. So I guess I was wrong, but I don't think every game needs to have 100 hours of content, and my point kind of still stands. Just take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean, though. You know, not every game needs to have hundreds of hours of content. Never ever download this app. If you don't like it, well, tough luck. It's impossible to delete and way too much violence. I wish I could give it 1 star, but that's not an option. And for the violence thing, this is literally a zombie-like story game. Of course it's going to be violence, what do you expect? And the last comment we have is, I played the game for 5 hours, turned the game off and my save is gone. How is this allowed to be released? I'm not 100% sure on this, but every time I played The Last of Us, I manually saved myself because manual saving is just better in my opinion. You cannot always trust an autosave. Even with new games to come out in 2023, you just cannot always trust an autosave. So you should always just manually save before you actually leave. So I'm just going to blame this person, in my opinion. Like, it was your fault. You should just manually save stuff instead of trusting the autosave, because it always can fail, even in 2023. And that's going to be the end of this video of reading The Last of Us negative reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, this was kind of hard to find negative reviews of the game because it's so well loved over the years. But I managed to find a few, and there's even some that I didn't actually cover. So if you want to see a part 2, let me know in the comment section below. I'm also thinking of maybe looking at the actual show and seeing if I can find some negative reviews of that. Even though we're pretty early into it, I just think it could be fun, especially with the 3rd episode. If you have any other games or movies or shows you'd like me to do videos like this on, let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, as of there, peace.
That's what someone told me, but I don't know what it means, 'cause I've done everything I know to try